I think right now with farming, I know, I think there's like this huge, let's call it like a line down the middle between like regenerative agriculture / small farms and like huge commercial farms. And like for some reason, one is better than the other, or like they need to be against one another.
Farming brings us joy. It does.
We wanted to know where our food was coming from, and we know that that's important to other people as well.
We sell beef, pork, and lamb from our farm directly to consumers.
King Solomon said it the best. I've been young and I've been old, but I've never seen the righteous forsaken.
But I think that it's important that people understand, everybody understands that they are both very necessary. There's no way that all the small farms in America combined could feed everyone. Like, you need large commercial farms too. Like, this is America. There are a lot of people. So I'm one of the people that I see the good in both. I see changes that could be made for sure, but I think that that this whole one is better than the other needs to stop. Like, too often, like, we feel like we need to say how, and not just in farming, let's be honest, like, it can be this way in politics or whatever we want to talk about, but I'm good because these things are bad. But why can't it just be these things are good and this is why we sell them? Like, if you have to like degrade someone else's product in order to make yourself look better, you might need to like rethink your product. Like, your product should sell itself because of these things that you do and these things that you stand for on your farm, but that doesn't mean that you've got to talk badly about someone else's operation, and I appreciate commercial farmers. I mean, I appreciate row croppers. I appreciate all the big farms.
This cotton shirt sure is nice.
Yeah.
Shout out, Sean.
Yeah. Shout out to Red Lane Cotton.
Red Lane Cotton, we love y'all.
All these operations are important, and for me, we are a small operation, and we are, we do these certain practices because we have a certain customer base that we want to meet their needs, but it's not for everybody. Everybody's operation is not for everybody. And if not for the big and the small, there just would not be enough. There wouldn't be enough, so.
I appreciate people, educated folks, people who understand what they're talking about, that are passionate about
What
maybe
they do.
a certain aspect of farming, whether it be the big giant red hot button issues like petrochemical fertilizers, or which in simple man's terms is just a fertilizer that is created rather than manure.
Natural, yeah.
Right? So or your weed and pest controls, which can sometimes be harsh chemicals. And I understand that there are folks that have their reasons and they've done their research, but I also understand that there is a demand in this country that we live in for folks to eat. There's a demand in this country that we live in for folks to have fiber for clothes. And in order for that need to be met, the commercial farmer is certainly, absolutely required. He has to be, in order for us to survive. Unless everybody wants to live on a homestead and we want to go all the way back to Laura Ingalls Wilder and start making our own clothes,
Yeah.
and growing our own food for ourselves. And I do not think that our current culture, especially the folks hollering the loudest when it comes to farmers, the folks that hate the farmer the most, I do not think that those folks, more than likely, I don't mean any disrespect, but I doubt that they're capable of producing these things for themselves. And I do wish that folks would better educate themselves. Maybe spend a little time with a farmer. I'm not a commercial farmer, but I'd be glad to spend some time with anybody, in person, on the farm, or by phone. It's easy to talk to people and to understand why it is us farmers do what we do, and to understand why it is necessary. This isn't a job that our country can continue on running without. We gotta eat. We gotta eat. And for me, this farm that we live on and work is hopefully one day going to be a part of Karah and I's legacy that we can pass on to the next generation. Farming is more than just turning the earth and putting the seed down. It's more than calving season. It's more than taking that calf up to a finished cow and producing a steak. It's the life that we live, and it's the legacy that one day hopefully we'll leave behind. And it's the excellent lessons that the land teaches us every single day, that the animals teach us, right? So if you don't feed and water the cows, then they won't grow. If you put the seed in the ground, but you fail to give it what it needs to survive, it won't survive and it won't produce. It's much the same way with our faith, much the same way with our relationships. There's so many valuable things, I think, to be learned from farming. It's a pretty cool job. It's a pretty cool business.